Hello everybody, welcome back to Burnt Church. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's a pretty day here, but it's pretty hot also. But that's the way it is here in the south. Y'all see these apples on our trees back here? I'm going to show you something about those here in just a second. This is going to be a behind the scenes sort of video. I'm going to walk you around here, show you a few things that's going on here around the house. But if you are new here and you're still here watching, I'd like to ask you to subscribe. It would sure help us out a lot. But more than that, I would like to ask you to leave a comment or give a thumbs up or thumbs down. I would like to see if we could get more comments on this video than any of the other videos that we've done. So if you would, help me out and leave a comment. Our apple tree it's loaded up pretty good for it. It usually don't have many apples on it. You can see them up in there. I hope you can see them. I've sprayed it a few times with neem oil, but there's still some bug bites on it. I was having trouble with squirrels. They started getting in here, and I want to show you what I've done. I had this old piece of hose right here, and one evening we was going to town, and I seen a squirrel run out of the tree. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to lay that hose there in that tree. I said, maybe the squirrels will think it's a snake and at least stay out of it till we can get back home. I don't think there's been a squirrel in there, and that's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I think that has worked for now. Now they may get used to it in a little while, and I may have to do something different. But for right now, that's working. I hadn't seen them back in there. And there's not any apples on the ground where they've been chewed on by squirrels. Y'all see this little well house here? What color would you paint that? My wife is wanting to paint it. Right here on the corner, I'm going to replace that board. It's gotten broke off. I built that little well house probably 30 years ago nearly. And it's been out here. It's built out of red cedar. There's an old mule disc. And let me give you a story behind this. Don't never climb up on one of them and sit down without them being attached to the mule. I climbed up on there one time. My son was out here, and he climbed up on there sitting, and he said, Daddy, climb up there and sit down. Well, I did. First thing I hit was the back of my head. They're not made to sit on without being attached to the mule. Y'all notice anything missing in the background? Some of y'all that watches a lot of the videos, you'll probably see. If you know what's gone from back here, put it in the comments below. I'm anxious to see if anybody's been paying attention. If you're still here, I appreciate you watching this long. A lot of viewers don't hang around very long, and I'm going to show you a little bit behind the scenes. I had a friend last year say, I can't believe you put your garden in that video. It was so growed up. And it was growed up. And this part of the garden right here is growed up exactly like it was last year. And there's a reason for that. So you see how grown up this is? I've got it somewhat clean around the onions. And those onions are getting pretty big, by the way. Look at there. Those are almost the size of ones you buy at the store. But you see all this grass in here? These rutabagas, this was our first year growing them, and that was more or less just for an experiment. The bugs is eating them up. But you see all this grass out here? That's crow's foot, looks like. But you can just see all this grass. So once I have a crop that has come in and pretty much gone out, I just let the garden grow up there. Unless I have something else that I want to plant right back in its place. But in the case of this right here, I'm not planting anything else here for a while. Right here is a tomato plant still growing here in it. I need to clean out around him. But all this weed right here, that's poke salad. I let it all grow up. So when I plow it, all this grass gets added right back into the soil. And that adds a lot of compost into the soil. That's one thing that I do here, trying to build the soil up a little bit. And we don't do a whole lot here. We use a lot of store-bought fertilizer. And when I have more time, I'm going to start trying to work out the store-bought fertilizer, and we're going to start trying to use more natural fertilizers. We do use some, but for the biggest part, we use store-bought fertilizer. I've got a lot of grass up through there. And what I'm talking about is when I have more time, is if I'm ever not working so much. We stay busy working, and that's probably not an excuse, but from what I've seen, it takes quite a bit of time to make compost. If you know any fast ways of making compost, please leave it in the comments. I would love to hear about it. I'm gonna turn you around here and let you see the corn. So our corn, it's gonna be ready to pick here in just a few days. The silks is starting to turn a little bit brown. About another week or so, and this will be ready. Our cucumbers, I hadn't showed them in a little while. We've got a little baby cuke down there. And this is right here at the electroculture. Our tomatoes, they're not doing the best in the world. So for the last few years, we have struggled with tomatoes. I've tried all different varieties. These here is not heirlooms. I thought getting away from the heirloom that they might be disease resistant to whatever this is, but they're not. And it tends to get a little better later in the year. They'll usually start growing a little better a little bit later. They'll kind of pull through whatever this is wrong with them. Right here you can see how those leaves down there are rolled up and turning brown. And it is pretty dry, but that's not from dryness. I can dig down in there beside those, and the ground's moist down in the ground. So I don't really know what it is. I want you to look what some seeds on these castor beans. They are huge. Well, I thank y'all for watching. I pray God blesses you, and I'll see you in the next one.